Well, how's it going, Kingsman? Welcome back to another battle and another day of will the French win a battle? No, I'm just kidding. Although we have had a streak, definitely, of French getting pancaked, unfortunately, in each and every fight. Today, though, we are going to see if the tides once again turn. I'm trying to find replays that look pretty dead close. So, you know, I guess if they're dead close, sometimes it means the French just put up such a good fight. Coach just were a little bit stronger there. But yeah, this is, I believe, a Napoleonics versus GR clan battle. I believe it's also the 1809 cores here. So on the French side, we have an 11-point Lanz. You have 7-point Bernadotte. He's kind of bringing the Saxons. A lot of cavalry, a lot of beautiful cavalry. Look at that. Some Cuirassier Guard. They also have a Russia. A 6-point Russia on the field, so you know the Russians on the other side of the spectrum this time. And then of course a 11-point Yusian. On the other side it is, I believe, let's see, there's a 10-point Hiller, which definitely a very tough core to fight against. They also have a 12-point Johann and a 7-point and 6-point Austria. So all the 1809 Austrian cores here. Look at all of these skirms. This is definitely the guerrilla, maybe it's not guerrilla deployment, but this is a lot of skirms. Holy smokes. They got some stakes there sitting out. And now this is the map of Flanders 4. We have seen this map played before. This time the deployments are a little bit different. It's kind of almost a sideways push versus, you know, both one having the hill and one having to push from this side. So, you know, that's kind of exciting. They kind of change it up a little bit. And looks like we already have some hussars from Bernadotte scouting here. Some skirmishers pushing up maybe to push them back. Now, oh, I was going to say, I want to see what the Russians bring, because it looks almost like a cavalry corps. Yeah, Russia brought a cav corps, so he only has 553 men total. Bringing dragoons. Ooh, man, they brought a lot of dragoons. That could be very exciting. And of course, bring in Cuirassiers. So some smaller units still going to be crucial, especially if played right, but you can't just rush them in. You got to time your charges beautifully well when you have such smaller, heavy cav units. And let's see, we'll hopefully see some really good cav play today, especially considering that Bernadotte is on the field with a good amount of cavalry. Now, the two 11-point French armies are rolling far right. They are going all the way over to this flank. And, of course, you have the Austrians kind of spanned out way over here. Like I said, with that one Austrian army just kind of chilling here. You can already see that Russia's getting some scouting done, doing exactly what a cav corps should, making sure that the French know where they are. Now, they did bring one more Cuirassier for this Lanz. This general's just chilling. He has his bodyguard of Cuirassiers. He can see the Austrians just parked up on that hill. And then Lanz, of course, is bringing a decently sized army. I mean, I'm not seeing a whole lot of Gren. Oh, there they are. So bringing some Gren. Ooh, I do like these Gren's uniforms. I like the red topped hats. Very nice. Then a good screen formation, obviously some light infantry, artillery as well. Oh, yeah, look at this. This Austrian army is starting to get totally surrounded now. He's using his skirmishers. He's really starting to pepper down the Russian cavalry as it gets maybe a little too close, although barely took any losses. Horse artillery is set up, and we'll start, you know, doing some damage, hopefully, to these skirms. They're not going to be the best target for them to go after, but right now, being the only target, that's kind of, you know, you take what you can. Alright, we are starting to see an Austrian army make an advance. This, quite honestly, kind of looks like Hiller. Maybe it is not, but it kind of looks like Hiller. A lot of thick, massive units. These guys are going to be very damaging once they get into a fight here. We have the general back here. Yeah, this is definitely either the 12 or 10-pointer. And the 11-pointer is going to go right at them. He has cavalry already starting to skirt around to scout out this position. He has dragoons. Ooh, yeah, They better get themselves out of there. That was a nasty little volley there. But look at that. Oh, they actually are withdrawing here. They definitely see this French army. Now, the French are maybe going to try to do something a little different. I think, this is what I'm suspecting. They are going after the high point Austrias together. So 22 points trying to hit either a 10 or 12 pointer. Not a bad strategy as far as that goes. Now, of course, Austria is going to start rolling themselves together as this is another Austrian army here. This either 10 or 12 pointer. Maybe it's the 7 point or the 6 pointer. Who knows? But I suspect it's one of the big points. Maybe they're going to try to, if they can get back with the other Austrian army, then France is going to have their work cut out for them. It's going to be very rough for them to actually make a attack. I mean, they're going to have to deal with almost double the size. Because if we look at this, the Austrians brought, let's see, that's 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10,000 troops total. Versus the French, who have, you know, 2, 4, 5, about 5, between 5 to 6,000 men. Definitely the size difference of about roughly, and this is of course rough estimates, about 4,000 men difference between the coalition and the Imperials. And that's going to kind of be what the French are going to have to fight against. And considering a lot of the numbers for probably some of this... Ooh, hold that thought. We have... Yeah, looks like we had some cavalry go in, broke a skirm. They are rushing back and forth. Unfortunately, skirms just getting outplayed. They're not getting that nice forward volley. There we go. Yeah, these skirms are going to start, unless they can get some point-blank volleys, they're just going to get rolled over here. Unfortunately, the skirm screen is getting just absolutely obliterated by Russia, as they're just pushing from multiple flanks. At the same time, looks like we did have some cavalry go in here. Dragoons hit some Austrians. Now, there may have been a square formed, but France may actually... Oh, yeah. Eugene has been given the order to go straight into this Austrian line. Not going to be an easy fight for him whatsoever. Skirm screen set up. In fact, they're even rushing into his LOC. He put some light infantry in there. Austria is funneling through here, rushing to their allies' aid. And this battle is going to pop off with some of the most powerful corps of France going against the most powerful corps of Austria. And over here, it's turning into a total rout here. Russia's having a field day, guys. They are just destroying these skirms and these guerrillas like it's nothing. Now, of course, there are some stakes here. A lot of cavalry that's not actually doing anything over on this side. Yeah, that's actually good. I mean, no cavalry, just infantry. Artillery set up. I'm not sure if that was... oh, yeah, look at this. French artillery set up. Beautiful positioning. An 8-pounder. 4 8-pounders able to shoot point blank almost. More cuirassiers now shifting up here as Bonds gets up to the front lines. He's sending his corps forward here, and Eugene seems to be reforming, maybe pulling back. Not totally sure here. This Austria is basically all but gone. At least all that skirm screening that was probably going to help try to lock down the side. Bernadotte's going around it. They're like, Russia seems to be doing just fine over there. We have Bernadotte sending his cavalry up as it's going to be most effectively used right here. Oh, man. We have a flanking force, though, from Austria. However, they seem to be trying to get out of the town. They're trying to reform on this hill. Both sides seem to have gotten their allies up at least, so both sides definitely are not... I mean, Austria looks like they're still reforming a decent amount.
We have taken a building.
They're not totally ready, I don't think, for France to attack them. But they do have artillery setting up. They have a nice hill. More skirms starting to make the way to the front lines. France has taken yet another LOC. This is going to be a very excellent foothold for them to hold on that flank. And Austria, if they do try to push down this hill, they are going to have a nightmare of a flanking fire to deal with. and it's gonna be miserable. Now, Russia is using their Cav Corps. This is gonna actually be kind of fun, being a Russian, like a Cav Corps here. You're going against another Cav Corps, maybe, or at least just a bunch of cavalry. I feel like that could be fun. Could be. Not sure if it will be. I mean, because the Cav Corps is probably going to be trying to reinforce this fight over here. However, both sides seem to be making a little bit of distance. Now, France is in the town a little bit, which has really forced the Austrians to fall back a good chunk of their army. And I see an opportunity here. Maybe Eugene can focus on the far flank here. There's 6 units only. There is artillery. But if you kind of funnel, I mean, you can even take some shelter kind of in this divot. Now, it's not going to be too much shelter, but there's a hill right here, so maybe you can get some sort of, you know, break from that artillery. They're even shifting up their 4 8-pounders, probably to sit on this hill and be able to pummel the Austrian line. You got to watch out that they don't snipe your artillery. And we have Lons going into the town, so he's actually, they're trying to break up this Austrian formation just a little bit here. Russia has now totally skirted around. Bernadotte is almost up to the front. Now, his line infantry probably not going to be super effective in the field, but having them as a reserve line will be definitely, it'll be a good thing. And they do have some grenadiers, so their bodies on the field, that's kind of what it'll be needed at this point. I like the skirm screen that France has set up. These guys going to really make life a living hell for this Austrian line. Austria should, I'm surprised Austria hasn't made an advance on the French. Here we go, though. Ha! I feel so smart when they do stuff that I thought they maybe would do. No, I'm just kidding. I was thinking aloud. A lot of times when I say stuff, it doesn't actually come to pass at all. They do something way better. But I like this push here. We got a lot of dragoons and line infantry. So coordinated push potentially here, especially since I see some grenadiers in this forward line. And Austria does not have a lot here. Now he's shifting more reserves over to that side and readjusting his line to kind of make some distance. And over in the town, we may have Austria making a push here. I don't think Austria is going to do well in the town, though, in melee, to be honest. The nice thing is Lons has all of his troops in cover for the most part, and he can just use alleyways to flank, bayonet charge. It's going to be perfect. Now we have Bernadotte getting up on the front lines, even sending in some Prince Clemens. Let's see, they're going to form a square, aren't they? Yes, they are. That's the thing about this Austrian corps. They can form squares. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt this French cavalry. Oh, they're going right back in. Oh, did they catch them? Alright, so they're trying to tie up this Austrian line so they cannot shoot here. Because Austria is trying to maybe get up and start shooting. Because if they can start putting a lot of lead down range, Eugene's corps is going to die. They are absolutely going to die here. Now we do have the Prince Clemens still trying to keep them in square formation. These poor Saxon cavalry, they're going to probably break, but the sacrifice will have been made. And I guarantee you these guys can now do a bayonet charge into a square formation. France getting into that melee that they so desperately need. And not only that, but now they have cavalry to back it up. In fact, they can even charge in the back line so that Austria cannot pour in any fire into this melee. You see Austria's have a little wavering here. France really pushing in. Now cavalry ran back forth trying to go for those guns, making sure nothing else is happening here. In fact, it looks like Lons is issuing out of the town on the flank. Austria got bamboozled, and they have troops on the far side not doing anything. France looks like they are putting all the pressure on getting a flanking charge with more some Chevaliers. This rear Austrian line is in turmoil with the cavalry fighting them off. They can't even pour any volleys in. France did take a little bit of losses, but Austria is starting to break. Lawns pushing in. Russia even sending in some dragoons to tie up this Austrian line so they can't shoot. That's the whole name of the game, guys. Whole name of the game, stop Austria from shooting, get into melee. Stop the reserve line over here from shooting while you're in melee, and that may have been some of the best of Austria's troops. Who knows? That may have been Deutschmeister, but at this point, France, they're going to pull back a little bit. They lost 1 line infantry. They've taken out 3, 4, 5 Austrian lines. And plus, a lot of actions now being done over here. Lawns is going straight in. Look at this gap in the Austrian line that France can exploit. Russia sent in dragoons over and over again, starting to really chop up that Austrian defense. Lawns is going to have a slight problem as Austria seems to just be bending the line a little bit so they can get some nice flanking fire here as Lawns pushes in. But Russia is not going to let the Austrians retire without taking some charges from their cavalry.
Our men are running.
Now here's a counter charge. So Mazar is going to go in, be very defensive, very well placed. Unfortunately, too light of a cav unit to actually be able to make a dent on 4 regiments from France. Over here, Eugene has pulled back. He's letting his skirm screen, staying in light infantry behavior, kind of just soak up some damage and fire, and the Austrian cav is once again in the wrong place as Russia and France kind of coordinate a beautiful push here. Lawns' columns are smacking into this Austrian defense, getting some flanking fire. Ooh, this is rough. You can see how fast they shoot, though. Oh, here comes the cav. Now, beautifully formed square here. Austrians not going to make much of a dent there. Oh yeah, Lawns made impact. The 12th and the 21st. Routing units. This is going quite well for the French at this point in time. Now we do have Austria in the town. We have Bernadotte. I think he's probably multitasking over here right now. Yep, look at this. He's not even paying attention over there, but that's not really as important. The cavalry cycling in and out. Eugene maybe trying to push in as well. France, Lawns has made some deep lines into Austria. You have another reinforcing Austrian army pushing forward here. Reinforce. I like how they're trying their best. Ooh, this 25th may break. And France is just non-stop. They have to keep this momentum going, guys. If Austria gets away from this, it is all over. Austria even has a flanking line pushing up to kind of hit Eugene and Lawns that are pushing forward. So Eugene's going to have to make a push here. They have to stop this line from falling back. I mean, they have made it so deep into the center of the Austrian line that is almost a mess. You can see Bernadotte's infantry getting flanked. He's probably going to have to start dealing with this. More Austrian cav charging in. Russia running down even more and more infantry here using his cavalry. France may not have an opportunity right here to be able to pursue this reserve line that Austria has. This part, though, if they can break this, I don't know if this is Hiller, but whoever this Austria is, they need to fall back. They are going to get encircled. So basically right now, France has stopped pursuing this army. They're going to probably, hopefully, get some cavalry up. They're going to try to encircle. If they can encircle this Austria before Austria realizes they need to fall back, which, quite honestly, they probably should have realized that before. We have a little bit of a raging fight in the town here. Some Saxon grenadiers fighting Austria. They had a little flank, kind of can pull back. I think Saxony's going to be given the town. Bernadotte's probably going to be assigned defense of the town. And, yep, look at this, guys. Look at this. Square form, beautifully done. Now, the French are taking losses to this Austrian army here. But if they can destroy it in its entirety, man, they are going to be sitting pretty. Now, you see this cavalry trying to save the line. We even have Austrian skirms, maybe some Austrian cavalry that's going to push forward to try to save this Austrian. This is a large amount of coalition forces left in the field. Now they are starting to break. It's simple though. They just got to pull back. That's all. Leave 1 or 2 units, pull back, reform with your allies, get off this hill. France has the majority of it. Saxony and Austria both seem to be taking some losses here. Not an easy fight for Saxony by far. I mean, skirmishers everywhere. Ooh, a charge by Austria. They are really threatening Lanz's flank here. And we have an Austrian counterattack. At the same time, though, Eugen still committing here, going straight in.
Our men are running.
The French can do this. I believe in them. They can do this. Artillery setup actually pummeling the Austrian lines that are back here. They're just going to stop them from being able to really make an attack here. Oh, the Austrian cav that was trying to hold back this French flank is finally broken. Seeing a ton of breaking from Austria, and Austria still can get some troops out of there if they hurry. This forward line, though, starting to break. Saxony has won that fight. Bernadotte has held. And as we can see on the field, guys, we kind of see a kind of broad spectrum here. Or a broad view, I should say. You have a couple Austrian lines here, some squares just kind of sitting here. They have cavalry. I'm surprised they aren't trying to fall them back. It's like, I'm not sure what the plan is with these Austrian lines. There's nothing really threatening them at the moment. They can always reform squares and use their cavalry. Because this French line is pushing up. Maybe they want to keep the hill. Maybe that's what they want to do. They want to stand here. This unit could easily have taken out of square formation. Oh, there we go. They're reforming here. It's like Austria's desperately, stubbornly trying to keep this hill, at least a portion of it. Oh, we have a Russian Dragoon charge. They're to hit a square here. Another French bayonet charge. Oh my goodness. Okay, they're going to form a square. And fall back as Russia sends forward another Dragoon to try to counter. They got to protect this flank while they're going in. Unfortunately, the 53rd breaks. But France is just constantly going. And yet another Austrian line breaks.
We have killed their generals.
Oh.
Now they must break.
Oh, that's... Oh, wow, the artillery just killing that general. Yep, there he is. Didn't even get to see the rest of the fight. And he was the Johann, the 12-pointer. Man, Austria seems to be doing quite well here against Saxony. Against the town square. This little fight's been going on, and Bernadotte seems to really be struggling here. Russian cavalry is getting really deep into these lines here. Oh, they're going to break. Still, they made impact with this line. What's left of... Ooh, another cav fight here. There's such massive units from Austria, but they are going against multiple small units from France. And I think that's going to start hurting them in the long run. Yeah, guys, I'm seeing a lot of breaking from Austria. However, there is still a massive army left from Austria. Like, Austria has lost a lot. They still have a lot. Remember, 10,000. They could have easily lost 4,000 men there and still be equal numbers. And you know France took some losses here. Even if their units didn't rout, they are much smaller than they were before. I mean, 50% casualties with some of these. Yeah, usually most of them have taken almost 50% casualties already. Now, the town fight actually may turn into an important portion of this fight. And Bernadotte is still holding the town. He has taken some losses, but he has held. That's going to be the important thing. If Austria tries to take these LOCs, because eventually it'll come down to an LOC fight here, Not yet, obviously, but pretty soon here they're gonna have to make some decisions as to what LOC to hold and where to attack. This French battery is gonna be doing some real work here, and most likely is gonna be focusing on cavalry. That's what I'd be focusing on. I'd be trying to get as much Austrian cav off the field as possible, so that whatever cavalry corps you have left as the French can go with impunity. What a battle so far. What a well-versed... That is what France has to do. They have to. It was a gamble going in against the Austrian force. Unfortunately for Austria, they did not have their cavalry over here. It looked like it was way over here. Maybe it was because of that Russian cav corps. They got distracted by it. Either way, it paid off big time for France. And that first initial win went pretty well for them. Bernadotte has held the town. He did his job. He doesn't have a lot of infantry. Not the greatest quality infantry. So, you know, considering it was probably a very tough fight for him. He was going against a lot of skirms and stuff. Not easy. Oh, wow. Look at this persistence by Eugen and Lanz. They are still going in. I mean, the units are fresh, to be fair. They have initiative. Look at all the units that are routing into this line. That's going to cause some debuff. Maybe that's what they're hoping for. Or these units will come back, in which case they really want to get rid of them. Either way, they're pushing in at this flank, forcing Austria to actually spread the lines out a lot further this direction, and actually, maybe subtly, pulling them away from this town, where the artillery and some skirmishers can protect the flank. If any Austrians start advancing, the artillery can maybe hit those advancing lines. You can see, though, Austria is definitely still very dangerous when it comes to those volleys. It's crazy to think that this is about roughly 16,000 men on the field. Like, the fact that the mods have made it to where you can literally have 16,000 models on the field at once and have an actual battle on these huge maps, that is just probably the greatest achievement of a game. I mean, I don't think any developer could ever make something that amazing. Of course, that's why you have these kind of problems, you know, when you do this. The model all don't load because it's like, that's a lot of men. My PC's like, nah, we can't do that, dude. Sorry. If I could, man, I'd have some of the best screenshots in the world. If everything loaded at whatever shot I wanted. You know? Who's charging? Oh, Bernadotte sent some grenadiers in. With a lull in the fighting, we have a general now from Austria. Oh, he sent himself in. His general's staff went in, broke that grenadier. Now, like I said, Bernadotte still has the hold of the town. And he's even sent some troops over, as they're going to probably need everything they can. Now, France is going to make that decision. Do they push? Do they push this hill, or do they try to stay back and let Austria make that attack? This is the edge of the map here. I definitely don't see any Austrian artillery. I do see consolidation right here. So by this windmill almost, where some of the heaviest fighting has happened. They seem to be concentrating and that's where Austria seems to have a good amount of lines, plus reserve lines, plus cavalry reserves. Here's another general. It's a nice looking cuirassier. Look at that. Man, he's fancy. Probably very, very warm out, so he'd probably be roasting. Yeah, the lack of artillery is kind of making both sides a little unsure about what to do. If artillery was pummeling both sides, probably more likely France than Austria would probably make a push because they can't afford to take those losses. But with the artillery on their side, ooh, they're in a field day with these lines.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Alright, well, let's take a peek at the LOCs here. So we have a one-pointer way over here that Austria has. The 4-pointer is not even garrisoned, but 3 1-pointers. The coalition, or the Imperials have 3 1-pointers. So even if they got, but that's not enough. That's not enough. They need more. And this is a clan battle, so the coalition could be going over to LOCs in an attempt to win. As at this point, they don't probably have the mighty striking force they had before. 26 minutes remaining. That's enough time to be able to start, you know, considering getting LOCs locked in so you can say you won by LOC. I suspect, this is just my prediction, just because of how depleted the Imperials are, they may make one last push, but they probably are going to try to win by LOC. They probably are not going to try to seize the field by just attacking. As their cavalry's depleted. I mean, their cavalry. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Actually, they managed to save that artillery. So cuirassiers are going to take them on. Maybe they're going to try to go for the Russian general. Yeah, no, those cuirassiers are like, yeah, you think you're getting our general, you get another thing coming. Some of my favorite looking cuirassiers. I like the black breastplate with the gold clasp. Whatever you call that. It just looks so nice. It looks so nice. Complimentary. Yep, okay, so here's that one last maybe push that Eugen is going to make. I mean, the Austrians have definitely gotten softened up a bunch with artillery. Skirmishers have pushed forward to kind of stop the Austrians from swinging in. I'm expecting we'll have a cav push as well. Some Italian dragoons. Man, they broke. They really softened up this line. Look at the wavering happening already. As now France is making that their advance here. This is probably going to hurt. This is going to hurt Eugen quite a bit. But those dragoons really starting to help out. Russia, even on the other side, pummeling this line. We even have more Chevaliers from Bernadotte rushing in, trying to get a back charge here. Oh my goodness, this actually could mass rout. But still, not... Oh man, even the square is pummeling this line. These French soldiers are like, man, we've had enough. We've fought so hard. You see Austria's rushing to the Allies' assistance. At this point, though, France has already made the all-important charge here. Crosshair still in the back lines. Let's see what these guys can do. Oh, he's going to go and try to stop some reinforcing cavalry. Oh, he breaks. Oh, man. Still, they made the charge that counted, and I don't see a lot of French losses. And by the time Austria is shuffled over to help out on this side, their units just don't move as fast as the French. You can see there's a mass rout here, and France has seized yet another point here. Now they can control this hill now and force back any coalition fight. Unless I'm trying to bomb in the recording session. Yeah, you see he's going to run down some Austrians that are pulling back. Make sure they do not come back. So we had a little cab clash here that Austria managed to take. I will say it is definitely harder to fight against this corps, this Austrian corps. So I can respect the Imperial strategy and quick moving to be able to catch out the Austrians. They did very well in that regard. I hate playing against this Austrian corps. I've never, I can't even remember if I ever won playing against the French against this 1809 corps. So I can respect probably man, how pleased you'd be to actually win against such a tough one. But quite honestly, the Austrians have played very well too. I mean, the French are not going to have much of an army left at the end of this. They're going to take 50% casualties at least. Here we go. More depleted units. Oh no, he's not going to. Maybe he is. Oh, the artillery though. See, this artillery is probably gonna be dead pretty soon here, unless he's Carabiniers. Unless Bernadotte can save this. Maybe. This artillery is gonna really help out this Austrian line. Here we go, though. Once again, Eugen pushing in. And they got a nice flanking charge here as well, so that's... Ooh, the cav charge, though, to try to save this line.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh wow, Austria just mass routed here, and this may be the beginning of the end. Still a lot of infantry left for Austria, though. They can throw it up, and a couple volleys would just totally melt the French lines. Austria pushing on the left flank as well. Bernadotte has pushed up what remains of his corps. Fresh lines running into the fray here. Oh, they break Austria there. There we go, for the flank. Oh, Saxony's getting himself into the fray as well.
Our men are running, sir.
I think France is going to start running out of men. Oh, he's sending in the guard. Oh, man, they're dropping so fast. Yeah, I'm not seeing France winning the field anymore. I mean, they took yet another decisive blow to the Austrians. At this point, it's time to rush for some LOCs. I mean, they technically have this 4-pointer straight down the road from this small contingent. They could push into it. I'm not sure if they're going to, but man, if they get too close, these guys are just gonna absolutely just slaughter them with some volleys.
Now they must break.
Alright, so the 7-point Austrian general is dead. Oh, wow. Yeah, you see, they tried it. It did not work. Nice flanking charge of the cavalry with the infantry. But what's left of this French corps and what's left of Bernadotte and Lanz's corps is going to have to start falling back. They got to have to consolidate around this LOCs.
Our men are running, sir.
And what's left of Eugene is actually rushing over here. I mean, they are heavily outgunned and outnumbered at this point. They numbered less than 100 men here versus probably close to almost 250 men here. Yeah, the battle seems to be dying down now, and unless something changes in 15 minutes, this is going to be an Imperial victory. Now, maybe they didn't take the field necessarily. Oh man, they're getting dropped. There we go, though. That artillery is really going to be helping because Austria is going to probably start descending upon the town. I don't see a lot of French troops left. They have one here, one here. This one probably going for that 4-pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units to counter defend plus the artillery. Yes, some more over here where France is still trying to focus down this Austrian line.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, look at this flank sneaking behind the Austrians here. Yeah, so I guess as the fight winds down, the thing to kind of look at is where did the coalition go wrong to where they lost? Obviously, this town fight, even the flank here, pushing on the flank, and then so I saw, I believe it was, who was it? Was it Lanz? Yeah, Lanz, because Eugene was over here. Lanz went into the town. Austria formed up in this line right here and had a small, like a reserve line here, like a line plus reserve line, but they arranged all the way over here. It's like they thought Lanz was going to push into here, and then Lanz just whoop, popped out right here and just smacked into them. Eugene smacked into right here, and then with Russian Cav Corps smacking in, they just hit through this whole center for Austria just broke like water. It caved, and then it caused this whole left side of, I'm going to assume was Hiller, to then be absolutely outflanked by the French. He was fighting and dying on a hill by this windmill, and it turned into a nightmare for them, and unfortunately they did not get to extract the majority of their army, which caused them to lose the field. They lost some very valuable units, I'm assuming. Now, so 4-pointer is taken by Austria, so they are definitely starting to garrison all the 4-pointers. That means that France is going to have to, if it's just a race for LOCs, I'll skip to the end, and we'll, you know, I'll give the win to whoever won. All right, basically what this is coming down to, guys, this 21st is going for the 4-pointer, and Austria is going to try to stop them. They have one unit here. They have another unit obviously rushing to do it, because whoever gets a 4-pointer is probably going to win. Obviously a little bit of scatter resistance here from Austria. These LOCs in the town have been taken. At this point, probably both sides are closer to this 4-pointer. This is going to kind of decide, you know, the battle here. And I guess they didn't have it. I thought they had the 4-pointer. But you can see that France is going to take it. And as long as they can hold it for 8 minutes,
We've taken a building, sir.
They will win by LOC victory. Okay, good luck, Austria, taking that. Oh. Well, we hit the fast forward button. This will be an interesting development. Austria is pushing troops. Now, we do have more cavalry. Ooh, this cavalry. Oh, Jean-Baptiste Bernadotte. Bernadotte himself could come over here and just totally wreck the Austrians' chances here, as he does have cuirassiers and the general staff.
We have taken a building, sir.
Let's see if he makes it across in time.
Our men are running,
Uh-oh. They're lining up. Charge in, Bernadotte. Go, go, go. Now go. If anything, he's delaying them with the cavalry, because he knows as soon as he pushes in, oh, he's gonna, oh no, he has a Inspire, hopefully. Oh no. It's all up to Bernadotte now. Dang, Austria's not doing too well. These 3 brave soldiers outside here, they're going to stave off a little bit of them.
We have taken the building, sir.
And this guy's going to get back up. Alright, well, then that settles it. It is an Imperial victory. A good game and a win for, I believe, the Napoleonics. But what a fight. What a fight. Alright, I'm just going to skip to the end. We'll see the results here of this battle. Alright, guys. A victory here for the French. As you can see, this was, I believe, who was this? This was Lons. You can see he got some really good kills with his artillery piece. That, our 8-pounder, 230 kills, the most kills out of any of his troops. That's crazy. Artillery usually isn't the biggest killer, but it was in this battle. Extremely accurate. And then, of course, you got some of the Grenadiers, of course, doing some excellent work. Let's pull back some results here. So you see, we have Argens. He got 1790 for his kills. You have Lotus as the Cav Corps, Russian Cav Corps, with 800 kills. Dollar Sign as Bernadotte, 1148. And then Duke Bob Ross with 1628. And then on this side, you have Jacques with 641, Rambo 1013, B Square 1041. He was the 12-pointer, and I believe Sim was the Hiller, maybe? Not totally sure. It was 1097. Oh, actually, I actually know. Sima was Hiller. And also, Arjun's was Lans, and Duke was Yujin. So, well, anyway, guys, that'll be it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. A French win, finally. You know, you can thank me. I had a couple of the replays I was looking at, and in the first one I looked at, the French lost, and I was like, I can't do this to everybody again. We got to have some equality here. So, anyway, guys, you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and as always, I'll catch you all in another video.